Today we're going to talk about comparing box plots. They're also known as box and whisker plots. A box plot displays a data distribution using 5 key numbers. Okay. The difference between the first and the third quartile, so this is the numbers that we're talking about, they're just different sections, is called the interquartile range. Okay. Then we have, these are our 5 different pieces. The first piece is the smallest piece of data. And then this is what we're going to call the minimum. We have the median of the lower half of the data, which we're going to call the first quartile. And sometimes you'll see this as Q1. We have the median of the data, which is going to be the middle part of that data, the median. And it's always also called the median. The median of the upper half of the data then is the third quartile, which we're going to call Q3. And then the largest piece of data is the maximum. So the maximum and minimum numbers, okay, is the largest and smallest piece of data. So we take a look at this here. Let's go ahead and label it. This number right here, whatever it would be, that would be your Q1, your first quartile. The end of the box would be Q3, your interquartile. This right here is your median. It's right in the middle. And then this right here would be your minimum. I'm going to abbreviate. And this right here would be your maximum. Okay, so we look at those pieces of information and then we go from there and kind of plot things as we go. The biggest thing you need to make sure is that everything is in order from least to greatest. Okay, so it says the following set of data represents the number of animal crackers in the snack size box. So you'll notice that many of the numbers are very close together. The first thing you need to do is put them in order from least to greatest. So I got 34. Okay, then I have 45. You see I mark them off as I go. I have 47. I have 48. There's another 48, so we write it again. 49. And then 50. So I've got all my numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just to make sure I've got them all. Okay, now I generally start with the median, the very middle number. That works best. So I've got this one and this one and this one and this one. So I'm going from the outside in. So this is my median. So my median is 48. It's easiest to start with the middle. And then from there, you're actually going to do the middles of each side. So when I talk about that, I'm talking about these 3 numbers. We're no longer including the median. We're just talking about the ends. So when I look at this, there's 3 numbers. So I want the middle there. So this is Q1, which is 45. So the middle of each side. Then I have the right side, and I want the middle of that. There's 3 numbers, so the middle number is 49. That's Q3. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and put the minimum numbers in there and the maximum numbers in there. So that's just really, if you have it in order, that's your lowest number and your highest number. So here, this is my min, and then this is going to be my maximum. So my minimum's 34, and then my maximum is 50. Okay, so that's how you do it. Now we have to take that. So we're going to take that data right there and we're going to put it into our graph down at the bottom. And we're going to use these numbers, okay? So I generally start with my median. This is step 1. And I plot at 48. We don't have specific numbers, but I'm thinking this would be, say, 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50. So you don't have to put the marks on there. You can kind of estimate. So I'm thinking 48's right here. That's my median. From there, go ahead and color code these according. I'm going to do my, this is my second step. I'm going to do my Q1 and Q3. So my Q1 is 45. My Q3 is 49. Okay, from there you're going to create your box. Box those in just like that. And then step 3 is doing your minimum and maximum. And those are going to be lines coming out. So I'm going to start at 34, which I'm going to say is down here, and I'm going to go all the way to my box, include all those numbers. And then 50 is my highest number, so I'm going to start here and go to my box. And they do call this also a box and whisker plot because it's kind of what it looks like. All right. All right, I want you to pause here. Go ahead and put these numbers in order from least to greatest. Make sure you can fit them all in the box there. So watch your size. Alrighty there. So I go ahead and I've got mine in order here. So we're going to start. Make sure you have the right amount of numbers, that you've counted everything. Okay, and if you counted and you've got all your numbers, now we're going to start at the very middle. So 1 on each end, 1 on each end, 1 on each end. You can use your fingers to count inwards. That works really well. It's hard for me to show you that here on the iPad. So then my middle number, my median, is going to be 11. Okay. Now what you're going to do next is you're going to find the data. You're going to take each data on the left and on the right. So we'll start on the left. And I want you to find the median of that set of data. That's going to be your Q1. Okay. So 1 on each side. I'm hoping you're already trying this on your own. Okay, so that's going to be here. This is Q1, and it's between 9 and 9, so Q1 is 9. We're going to do that same thing on this other side. Okay, it's right between the 15s. So since it's between 15 and 15, it's 15. Now if it's between two numbers, you're going to find the average of those two. You're going to find the right in the middle. Okay, and then from there, we're going to look for a minimum. Minimum number is 7. Our maximum number is 19. That's just our ends. Okay. All right, now we're going to go ahead and put this into place. Or start with your median, which is 11. I put a line there for my box. And then I'm going to do my Q1 and my Q3. So that's my second. So 9. So I think 9's about right there. And then 15 is about right there. And then I'm going to create that box with these 3 lines. Okay. From there, I'm going to take that box and I'm going to go out down to 7. I'm going to start at where I think 7 is and come up to the box. I'm going to go where I think 19 is and go up to the box. Okay, and if you kind of get it a little bit off, you can kind of adjust it. It looks a little close to 20, not a big deal. These are not perfect if you don't have exactly every number on the page, and that's okay. All right, so now that you have that information, I want you to pause, and I want you to try using the bottom information here and answering the minimum, the maximum, the median, and then the Q1 and Q3. Okay, just in case you weren't sure what was what, the median's in purple, Q1, Q3, minimum, maximum. Okay, so we have a minimum of 11. If you put 10, that would be okay. If you put 10 and a half, that would be okay. I guess my Q1 was about 12. If you put 11 and a half, that's okay. My median was 14. That was pretty much spot on that line, which was nice. My Q3 was about 16, and my max is about 18. If you put 17 and a half, that would work also. Okay, let's go ahead and look at another set of data. We're going to go ahead and put these in. Now, I want to talk about these just a little bit. So our median here is what you plot first. Okay, that's step 1. That's 15. We're going to put a line at 15. Okay, these it looks like they skipped their odd numbers, but they're on a line. Then I'm going to go for my Q1 and my Q3. So the lower median is Q1. My upper median is Q3. They just have a different way of writing that, vocabulary-wise. So my first quartile is 12. I'm going to put a line there, and then 22 on the other ends. And then I'm going to go ahead and create that box around it. Alrighty. Then my lower extreme is my minimum number, my upper extreme being the max that you're gonna get, the farthest you're gonna get from it is my max. So I'm gonna go 8.5. So I'm gonna start about right here, draw it in. And then 24.5, I'm gonna start about right there and draw it in. There you go. Now they said, what is the range? Remember, your range is going to be your maximum minus your minimum. So I'm going to do 24.5 minus 8.5. Okay, so that then is going to give me 16. It says 25% of the numbers are smaller than what number? Okay. So when we talk about percentages here, it's kind of cool because percentages are they're already set in 25%. So when you look at this, this is 25% of the data here. Sorry, let me change my pins here. This is 25% of the data here from this box to this ends. And then when you go into the next quartile, this is 25% of the data. And then when you go from the median here to the end, that's 25% of the data. Even though it looks very big, it's still 25%. And then you have 25% of the data here. So it's kind of split up. So it says 25% of the numbers are smaller than what number? Okay, so the smaller numbers are the ones on the left here. So they're smaller than 12. Okay, so they're talking about this left set down to your minimum. It says if 20 tests were scored using to create the box and whisker plot, how many grades would you expect to see between 15 and 22? So 20 tests, I'm going to divide it by 4 pieces, which gives me 5. So there's 5 tests here, 5 tests here, 5 tests here, and 5 tests here, okay? And they said between 15 and 22. So 15 lands here, 22's out here, so they're talking this section. So that would be 5 tests. Okay, so that would be about 25%. Alrighty, there we go. So now from the next one, you already have your box and whisker plot. I want you to go ahead and I want you to pause. I want you to try and answer all of these questions. The range, the upper median, which is Q1, the lower extreme, which is your minimum. Follow your vocab. Okay, so they're just having you pick different parts. Okay, so this is where I landed. Check your work. Your range is 18. You can pause and go through this. Your upper median is 13.5 roughly, fall right between 13 and 14. Your lower extreme's 4. 22 out here would be an example of your maximum or your upper extreme. What fraction of the data? So it does say fraction. So 25% is smaller than 7. That's this little grouping here. And remember, they're in 25%. So 25% or 25 cents of a dollar is 1/4. So 1/4 of the data falls there. Numbers between 4 and 11 represent what percent of the value? So let's look from 4, which is here, to 11, which is here. Remember, each section is 25%. So 2 25% make us 50% of our data there. Now you have one to do for homework. It's very similar to our last one. You're actually not even answering any questions here. You're just kind of create your box and whisker. Make sure you organize this from least to greatest first. And then you can answer each of the questions and then go from there. Just remember that this is your min, this is your max, this is your Q1, and this is your Q3. Okay, and then you got your median.